Hello and welcome. Welcome back. I am Jessica Kirshner, integrative wellness coach here at Mindful Modern Living. Today, I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about a theme that is coming up a lot for my clients, and it often comes up a lot during these seasonal shifts. And it's a theme that I love diving deeper into and exploring, and that's the theme of death and rebirth. And it's one of those cyclical cycles that when we really stop to notice, we see it reflected in everything from the changes in nature to the personal transitions that we experience in life. And as we move from summer into fall, we can observe these natural transitions happening all around us. The trees, for example, go through this beautiful process. Their leaves, which are so vibrant in the summer, start to change colors and shrivel, eventually releasing away from the tree and becoming still for the winter. And after this stillness, the trees, they begin to bud and bloom once again in the spring. And this is a clear example of the full cycle of life. And it's a perfect metaphor for transitions that we all experience in our own lives. And I think this idea of death and rebirth shows up in subtle ways. We might not even realize when we're in the middle of a transition, or maybe we acknowledge that we're in this change or this change is happening, but we don't fully understand what this process, what this change really means. For many of us, transitions are hard for many of us, and we can feel overwhelmed or uncertain, and we want to hold on to the familiar, to those things that are comfortable, like the trees holding on to their leaves. But the reality is, transitions require letting go. In nature, the leaves eventually have to fall, not because the trees want them to, but because that's what is needed to happen for growth, for new growth in the spring. And that's so powerful for us to reflect on. And when we go through transitions, whether it's a career shift, a change in a relationship, or even just this internal shift in our own identity, there's always something that needs to be released. It might be habits, old beliefs, or even relationships that are no longer serving us. And just like the leaves falling to make room for new growth, we have to create space for something new to emerge. But I think what's often missing when we talk about transitions is the acknowledgement of also that process. Like, what does that process really look like? It's not just about the results or the after picture. It's about the present and being present in the in-between moments, the discomfort, the uncertainty, the feeling of shedding what is no longer needed. That is the part of the process that deserves our attention and compassion as well. And I've noticed this in my own life, where there have been times when I resisted the change, when I wanted to hold on to something because I felt like it was safe. But looking back, I realized the more I resisted, the harder the transition felt. And when I finally allowed myself to release, the letting go of what no longer fit, I was able to create space for new growth. It wasn't easy, but it was necessary. And the peace, the balance, the groundedness that came after was so powerful. So, as we transition and move through these seasonal shifts, I want to invite you to see where this theme of death and rebirth is showing up in your own life. What are you holding on to? What might you need to let go of to create space so you can feel that expansionness and make that transition easier? And I also invite you to reflect back on transitions that you've had in the past. Maybe they were big, maybe they were small, but what worked for you? What didn't work for you? What did that process feel like, and what might you be able to do differently moving forward, or when a change shows up in the future? And I think, again, this is so important that I find that grounding ourselves during these moments of transition can make such a big difference. Just like the trees stay rooted during the changing seasons, we can ground ourselves through mindfulness, self-reflection, acceptance. And like I said, transitions are rarely easy, but they are a natural part of our life cycle. So as you move through this seasonal change, whether it's seasonal or personal, take some time to slow down, to really notice and tune in, reflect on where you might need to let go, and give yourself permission to release so that something new can emerge and grow. And if you feel called to it, I'd love for you to share your experience. I'd love to hear from you. What transitions are you experiencing right now? Please share your comments below, or feel free to reach out to me and send me a private message so that we can chat more. Sometimes just sharing what you're going through can bring a lot of clarity and sense of balance. And if you're navigating a transition that you feel like you could use more support or guidance, know that I'm here for you. In my coaching work, I partner with you, coach and client, to support you through these transitions and to find strategies, methods that work for you in your relationship to keep you grounded, to keep you connected. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Stay well, and I hope to see you very soon.